A lot of made-up nonsense.
But I thought I saw the rhinoceros.
It's in the paper. In black and white, you can't deny that. Down here in the dead cat's column. Read it yourself, Eugene.
Yesterday, just before lunchtime, in the church square of our town, a cat was trampled to death by a pachyderm.
It wasn't exactly in the church square.
That's all it says. No other details.
Well, that's clear enough.
I never believe journalists. They're all a bunch of liars. I don't need them to tell me what to think. I believe what I see with my own two eyes. Speaking as a former school teacher, I like things to be precise, scientifically valid. I have a very methodical mind.
What's a methodical mind got to do with it?
I think it's stated very precisely, Mr. Botard.
You call that precise. What does the editor of a dead cat's column understand by a pachyderm? He doesn't say. And what does he mean by a cat?
We all know what a cat is.
Is it a male cat or a female? What breed is it? And what color? The color bar is something I feel very strongly about. I hate it.
What's the color bar got to do with it, Mr. Botard? It's quite beside the point.
Please forgive me, Mr. Papillon, but you must admit that the color problem is one of the great stumbling blocks of our time.
That. We all know that. But it has nothing to do with this.
One shouldn't dismiss it so lightly, Mr. Doudard. The course of history has shown that racial...
I tell you it has nothing to do with it.
I'm not so sure.
The color bar is not the issue at stake.
One should never miss a chance to denounce it.
But we told you none of us is in favor of the color bar. You're simply obscuring the issue. It's a question of a cat being run over by a pachyderm, in this case, a rhinoceros.
I'm a northerner myself. Southerners have got too much imagination. Perhaps it was merely a flea. Run over by a mouse. People make mountains out of molehills.
Let's try and get things clear. Did you, yourself, see a rhinoceros strolling through the streets of the town?
But it didn't stroll, it ran.
No, I didn't personally see it, but a lot of really reliable people
They were
have told
probably
me
just making it up. You put too much trust in these journalists. They don't care what they invent to sell their wretched newspaper and please the bosses they serve. And you mean to tell me they've taken you in? You, a qualified man of law? Forgive me for laughing.
But I saw it. I actually saw it. I take my oath on it.
Get away with you, girl. And I thought you were sensible.
Mr. Botard, I can see straight. And I wasn't the only one. There were plenty of other people watching in the daytime.
Well,
I could see it.
time out.
They were probably watching something else. A few idlers with nothing else to do. A few work-shy loafers.
it happened yesterday, Sunday.
I work on Sundays as well. I've no time for priests who do their utmost to get you to church just to prevent you from working and earning your daily bread by the sweat of your brow.
Oh?
I'm sorry. Just because I despise religion doesn't mean I don't esteem it highly. In any case, do you know what a rhinoceros is?
It's a very big, ugly animal.
You pride yourself on your clear thinking. A rhinoceros, my dear young lady.
There's no need to start a lecture on the rhinoceros. We're not in school here.
That's a pity.
Well, it's gone 9, Miss Daisy. Put the timesheets away. Too bad about the latecomers.
Good morning, Miss Daisy.
Hurry up, Mr. Barringer.
I campaign against ignorance wherever I find it.
Quick, sign the timesheet.
Oh, thank you. Palace or humble hut?
Has the boss arrived?
He's here.
No matter where,
Here already?
even in printing offices.
Mr. Botard, I consider...
But it's not 10
I
past.
consider you have gone too far.
Yeah, I think so too, sir.
Are you suggesting that Mr. Dudard, my colleague and yours, a law graduate, and a first-class employee is ignorant?
I wouldn't go so far as to say that, sir, but the education you get at the universities just isn't up to what you get at the ordinary schools.
What about the timesheets, Miss Daisy?
Here it is, sir.
There's no clear thinking at the universities, no encouragement for practical thought.
Oh, come now. Well, morning, Mr. Papillon. Sorry I was almost late. Mr. Dudard, Mr. Potard.
Well, Baron J, did you happen to see the rhinoceros by any chance?
All you get at the universities are fed intellectuals with no practical knowledge of life.
Rubbish! Oh, yes, I saw it already.
Oh, Mr. Baron J just has out of chivalry. He's a very chivalrous man, even if he doesn't look it.
What's chivalrous about saying you've seen a rhinoceros?
A lot, but instead of bolster a fantastic statement by Miss Daisy. Everybody's chivalrous in Miss Daisy. It's very understandable.
Don't twist the facts, Mr. Potard. Mr. Baron J took no part in the argument. He's only just arrived.
Yeah, I did see it. We both did, right?
Perhaps Mr. Baron J thought he saw a rhinoceros. He has a very vivid imagination. Anything's possible with him.
Now, listen. I wasn't alone when I saw the rhinoceros, or maybe there were 2 rhinoceros.
He doesn't even know how many he saw.
I was with my friend Eugene, and others were there too.
I don't think you know what you're talking about.
It was a unicorn rhinoceros.
They're in league, the 2 of them, to have us on.
I rather think it has 2 horns from what I heard.
You better make up your mind.
That will do. Gentlemen, time's getting on.
How many rhinoceroses did you see, Mr. Baron J?
Well, it's hard to say.
You don't know. Miss Daisy saw 1 unicorn rhinoceros. How many horns did your rhinoceros have, Mr. Baron J, if indeed there was one?
Well, exactly. That's the whole problem.
And it's all very dubious.
Oh!
I don't mean to offend, but I don't believe a word of it. Nothing like it's ever been seen in this country.
Well, there's a first time for everything.
I tell you, it's never been seen, except in schoolbook illustrations. Your rhinoceros is the flower of some washerwoman's imagination.
To apply the word flower to a rhinoceros seems pretty silly, Mr. Botard. Very true.
Your rhinoceros is a myth.
A myth.
Gentlemen! A myth? Like flying saucers.
It's high time we started to work.
But nevertheless, a cat was strangled to death. You cannot deny that. I was witness to that. In front of witnesses.
Yes, and what a witness.
Gentlemen! Gentlemen!
An example of collective psychosis, Mr. Dudard, like religion. The opiate of the people.
Well, I believe flying saucers exist.
That's quite enough. Flying saucer, there's been enough gossip. Flying saucers, or no flying saucers, rhinoceros, or no rhinoceros, work must go on. You're not paid to waste your time arguing about real or imaginary animals. Mr. Dudard, how are the reports on the alcohol repression law coming along?
Real.
Very real.
Gentlemen! I'm putting an end to this futile discussion. Mr. Baron J. and Mr. Potard, how are the reports on the wine trade control regulations coming along?
Coming right along.
Have you finished them off?
Almost. Not yet, though. Coming right up.
Then do so together. It's very urgent. And Miss Daisy, Hurry up and get those letters typed. Bring them to my office when you're finished.